The door slammed so hard the chandelier rattled. Lena Hartwell didn't mean to do it, but the sound felt right, violent, final, loud enough to drown the pounding in her chest. Her breath came in short bursts as she leaned back against the polished wood, fingers digging into silk that cost more than her family's entire apartment back home. She wasn't supposed to be shaking. She was married now. 3 rings sat heavy on her left hand, cold against her skin. 3 vows spoken in a language that still felt foreign in her mouth. 3 men standing on the other side of that door, silent, waiting. "You don't have to hide," a calm male voice said through the wood. Lena swallowed. "I'm not hiding," she shot back, her voice breaking anyway. "I'm breathing." A pause. Then another voice, a softer, careful. "Then take your time. We're not moving." She closed her eyes. 24 hours ago, she'd been in a hospital room that smelled like disinfectant and fear, watching a machine breathe for her father. Now she was standing in a penthouse overlooking the Han River, married into a family powerful enough to erase people without a trace. Life didn't change gradually. It snapped. Her phone buzzed in her hand. She looked at it before she could stop herself. "Unknown number. Your father's surgery is scheduled. Paid in full." Her knees nearly gave out. She slid down the door until she was sitting on the floor, wedding dress pooling around her like a white surrender flag. Tears burned her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. Crying felt like a luxury she couldn't afford anymore. A knock came, gentle, deliberate. "Lena," the first voice said again. Lower. Controlled. "Open the door." She knew which one that was. Tae-san Kwan didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. She stood, wiped her face, and unlocked the door. All 3 of them were there. Identical faces. Identical dark hair. Identical height. But the air around each man felt different, like standing between 3 storms moving at different speeds. Tae-san stood at the front, shoulders squared, eyes sharp and unreadable. Power clung to him effortlessly, like gravity bent around his body. To his left was Jiro, hands in his pockets, gaze observant rather than invasive. He looked at her like he was reading her pulse instead of her face. Min-jae stood slightly behind them, eyes soft, jaw tense, like he was holding himself back from doing something reckless, like apologizing for a situation he didn't create. No one spoke for a second. Then Lena laughed. It slipped out of her, short, breathless, almost hysterical. "So this is it." Tae-san's eyes narrowed. "Is something amusing?" "No," she said quickly. "Terrifying. Just when you don't laugh, you scream." Jiro nodded once. "Fair." Silence returned, thick but not suffocating. "You can take the dress off," Min-jae said quietly, then winced. "I mean, not like that. I mean, you don't have to wear it. Not for us." Lena looked down at herself. The fabric felt heavier now that she noticed it, like it was weighing her to the floor. "Right," she said. "Because this isn't that night yet." Tae-san's jaw tightened. "There will be no that night unless you say so," he said. "The contract gives us expectations, not ownership." She met his eyes. "Does your grandmother know that?" A flicker passed between the brothers, fast, sharp. "Our grandmother," Jiro said carefully, "knows many things. Not all of them are kind." Lena hugged herself. "Then let's be clear. I didn't come here to be brave. I came here because I was desperate." Min-jae stepped forward before either brother could stop him. "And we chose you because you were honest." She looked at him sharply. "You chose me because I fit a list." "Yes," he admitted. "And because when you walked into that room, none of us could imagine someone else standing here instead." Her chest tightened at that. She hated that it worked. Tae-san gestured toward the bedroom behind her. "You should rest. Tomorrow will not be easier." "That's comforting," she muttered. Jiro almost smiled. She turned and walked into the bedroom without another word, closing the door behind her, not slamming it this time. She didn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her father's face. Pale. Still. The way his hand had twitched when she kissed his forehead goodbye. The way her mother had grabbed her wrist in the hallway, nails biting into skin. "Whatever you're doing," her mother had whispered, eyes wild, "don't let it destroy you." "Too late, Mom." Morning came quietly. When Lena finally stepped out, dressed in borrowed clothes that fit too well. The smell of food hit her first. Something warm, familiar, almost normal. The three men were in the kitchen. Min-jae stood at the stove, focused like the world depended on eggs not burning. Jiro leaned against the counter, reading something on his phone. Taesun sat at the table, already dressed for war or business. With him, it was hard to tell. "You cook?" Lena asked before she could stop herself. Min-jae startled, then smiled. "I don't trust anyone else with knives before coffee." She snorted, then froze, unsure if she was allowed to relax. "Sit," Jiro said gently. "Please." She did. They ate in silence for a few minutes. It wasn't awkward. It was cautious. Like four people walking on ice, testing each step. "Your family is safe," Taesun said finally. "Your mother's shop debt has been dissolved." Quietly. Lena's hands shook. "Thank you." He nodded once, like gratitude was just another transaction. "And the expectations?" she asked, heart pounding. Jiro set his phone down. "Our grandmother will want to see you today." Lena's stomach dropped. "Of course she will." "She is not looking for submission," Min-jae said. "She's looking for truth. And loyalty." "To who?" Lena asked. Jiro's eyes darkened. "That's the test." The visit happened that afternoon. Madame Seorian Kwan sat perfectly still in her chair, dressed in black silk, eyes sharp as broken glass. She looked Lena over like a judge measuring a sentence. "So," the old woman said, "this is the girl." Lena bowed, not too deep, not defiant. "Yes, grandmother," Taesun said. Madame Kwan's gaze snapped to him. "Do not speak for her." Lena inhaled. "I'm here by choice." The old woman smiled thinly. "No one ever is." She leaned forward. "You will live. You will be protected. And you will not shame this family." Lena lifted her chin. "I won't be owned." A beat. Then Madame Kwan laughed. "Once. Sharp. Good. Weak women bore me." The meeting ended without warmth, but with approval. As they left, Madame Kwan slipped a jade bracelet onto Lena's wrist. "Protection," she said. "From me." Outside, Lena finally exhaled. "That went better than expected," Jiro murmured. "I think she terrifies me more than you," Lena said. Taesun glanced at her. "That is wise." That night, Lena stood alone on the balcony, city lights stretching endlessly below. Taesun joined her, silent. "I can leave after a year," she said. "Yes," he replied. "And you won't stop me." "No." She looked at him, then really looked. "Then why does it feel like staying would cost more?" He met her gaze, unflinching. "Because staying means choosing us." The city roared beneath them. Far away, a phone buzzed in a dark room belonging to another family. A message sent. A threat forming. And Lena had no idea yet that survival was about to demand more than sacrifice. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like the video and drop a comment. It helps more stories like this reach you. Subscribe so you don't miss the interesting part where everything begins to escalate. The message arrived while Lena was brushing her teeth. Her phone vibrated once against the marble counter. Just once. Not urgent. Not loud. She almost ignored it. She shouldn't have. The screen lit up with a photo. Her mother. Standing behind the counter of the bookstore, mid-sentence, mouth open as if she was laughing at something Lena couldn't hear. The timestamp was from 10 minutes ago. Below it, a line of text. "Tell your husbands we're watching." The toothbrush slipped from Lena's hand and clattered into the sink. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." She didn't scream. She didn't cry. Her body went cold instead, like something inside her had snapped into a sharper, more dangerous shape. She walked out of the bathroom slowly, phone clenched so tight her fingers hurt. Taesun looked up immediately. "What happened?" Lena held the phone out. The room changed. Jiro was on his feet instantly, already dialing a number. Minji's face drained of color, then hardened into something Lena hadn't seen before, something feral. Taesun didn't speak. He stared at the screen, jaw clenched, eyes unreadable. "Who is it?" Lena demanded. "Say it." Jiro ended the call. "The Beck Syndicate." Lena laughed weakly. "That sounds almost polite." "It's not," Min-jae said quietly. Tae-sun finally looked at her. They will not touch your mother. You don't know that, Lena snapped. You don't know anything. Tae-sun stepped closer, his presence overwhelming without him raising his voice. I know this world. And I don't, she shot back. I didn't sign up for war. No, he said. You signed up for protection. This is the price. Silence slammed into the room. I don't want blood on my family, Lena said, voice trembling. I won't be the reason someone dies. Jiro spoke carefully. Then you should sit down. She didn't. Min-jae moved first. He crouched in front of her, forcing her to meet his eyes. Lena, look at me. She did. They already crossed the line, he said. This isn't about you choosing violence. It's about whether we let it reach you. Her breath hitched. And if I say no? Tae-sun answered before Min-jae could. Then we fail you. Her shoulders slumped. She hated that part of herself, the one that felt relief instead of horror. Move her family, Tae-sun said into his phone. Now. Quietly. Lena watched him give orders like he was rearranging furniture, not lives. Come with me, Jiro said gently, touching her elbow. Where? Anywhere but here. The safe house was smaller than the penthouse, but warmer. There were no guards in sight, no weapons displayed openly. Just a quiet living room, a couch, a window overlooking trees instead of city lights. Lena sat with her knees pulled to her chest. Min-jae knelt beside her again. Your mother and father are already en route. They won't know why. They won't be scared. Lena's voice broke. I am. He nodded. So are we. She looked up sharply. No, you're not. Min-jae didn't deny it. We're scared of losing you. The words hit harder than she expected. Hours passed. Phones buzzed. Voices murmured behind closed doors. Lena stayed still, like if she didn't move, the world wouldn't tilt any further. Tae-sun finally entered the room. It's done, he said. Her heart pounded. What does that mean? It means the Beck family will never contact you again. She stood. What did you do? He met her eyes. What was necessary? Her stomach turned. How many? Tae-sun didn't answer. Jiro did. 17. The number hung in the air. 17 lives. Erased. Lena backed away until she hit the wall. I didn't ask for this. No, Tae-sun said softly. But they did. Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. You killed people for me. We ended threats, Jiro corrected. There is a difference. There is not, Lena sobbed. Not to me. Min-jae approached slowly. Lena, please. Don't touch me, she whispered. He froze. I need space, she said. I need to know who I am after this. Tae-sun nodded once. You have it. That night, Lena didn't sleep again. She sat on the edge of the bed, staring at her hands, imagining blood she couldn't see. She thought of her mother shelving books. Her father breathing because of machines and money and choices Lena had made. At dawn, she heard footsteps. Jiro stopped in the doorway. May I come in? She nodded. He sat on the floor across from her. No power. No distance. Just honesty. I won't ask you to forgive us, he said. But I will tell you the truth. She hugged her knees. Go on. Our mother died when we were 18, he said. Bombing. Public place. Children died too. Lena's breath caught. We spent years becoming monsters because it was easier than grieving, he continued. Our grandmother let it happen. Why tell me this? Because if you stay, Jiro said quietly, you should know exactly what we're trying to undo. Lena swallowed. And am I part of that undoing? Yes. The door creaked open again. Min-jae peeked in. She's awake. I am, Lena said. He entered cautiously. I brought tea. You don't have to drink it. She took the cup anyway. Her hands shook. Tae-sun remained outside. Lena noticed. He won't come in? He doesn't believe he deserves comfort, Min-jae said. That surprised her. Later that day, Lena found Tae-sun on the balcony, staring at nothing. You didn't ask if I was okay, she said. He didn't turn. You weren't. She stepped beside him. I don't know if I can live like this. He finally looked at her. Then don't. She frowned. What? If you choose to leave when the year ends, he said, we will erase you from this world. New identity. New life. No one will follow. And if I stay? Then we become accountable to you, he said. Every decision. Every consequence. She searched his face. Why give me that power? Because power taken is fragile, Taesun replied. Power given is binding. Something shifted inside her. That night, Lena made her choice, not aloud, not yet. But in the quiet place where fear had been sitting, something else settled instead. Resolve. 2 days later, she stood in front of the three of them. I won't be a symbol, she said. I won't be a weapon. And I won't be used to justify blood. Taesun nodded. Jiro listened. Min-jae watched her like she was rewriting their fate. If this marriage continues, Lena said, it's because I choose it. Not the contract. Not your grandmother. Me. Silence stretched. Then Taesun removed a document from his pocket and placed it on the table. The exit clause, he said. Signed. Effective at your word. Her throat tightened. Min-jae exhaled shakily. You don't have to decide now. I know, Lena said. She looked at all three of them. But I'm still here. If you're still watching, tap like and leave a comment. It tells me you want the next part, where everything becomes personal, emotional, and irreversible. Subscribe so you don't miss the continuation. Lena didn't realize how loud silence could be until the house settled around her. No alarms. No footsteps. No whispered orders moving behind walls. Just her breathing. She sat on the edge of the bed, exit clause folded neatly on the nightstand like a loaded weapon she hadn't decided to use. The paper didn't feel powerful. It felt heavy. Like everything else in this place. A soft knock came. Come in, she said, surprised at how steady her voice sounded. Min-jae entered slowly, hands visible as if approaching something fragile. I'm not here to convince you of anything. She nodded. Good. Because I'm tired of being convinced. He leaned against the door frame instead of coming closer. You didn't ask what happens next. I'm afraid of the answer. That's fair. She watched him for a moment. What happens next? Min-jae exhaled. Grandmother will want proof that this marriage isn't symbolic. Not for tradition, politics. Lena stiffened. Define proof. Not what you're thinking, he said quickly. Not yet. She wants unity. Visibility. She wants to see you choose us publicly. Lena scoffed. So I'm still a chess piece? No, Min-jae said softly. You're the queen. And that's what scares her. Later that evening, the three brothers stood with Lena in a private dining room filled with people who smiled too easily. Executives. Politicians. Allies. Every eye followed her. Every movement felt measured. Stay between us, Jiro murmured. I am between you, Lena replied. Literally married to all three. Jiro almost laughed. Almost. Madame Kwan arrived last. The room shifted. She took Lena's chin gently, lifting her face. You look composed. I'm terrified, Lena replied honestly. Madame Kwan smiled. Good. Courage without fear is foolish. Throughout the night, Lena felt the pressure mount. Questions disguised as compliments. Judgments hidden behind laughter. How did you meet? Do you plan to stay in Korea permanently? Children are such blessings, don't you think? Lena answered carefully, refusing to shrink. At one point, a man leaned too close. You must feel overwhelmed. I feel chosen, Lena said calmly. That makes all the difference. Taesun's hand found the small of her back. Steady. Present. After the dinner, Lena collapsed onto the couch, exhaustion hitting her all at once. I hate that room, she muttered. Jiro handed her a glass of water. You did well. I lied. No, Min-jae said. You survived. Taesun watched her quietly. Tomorrow, things change. Her stomach twisted. How? My grandmother will push harder, he said. She believes pressure reveals truth. And if I break? Taesun met her eyes. Then we failed. That night, Lena dreamed of fire. She woke to shouting. Not angry, urgent. She ran into the hall to find Jiro on the phone, Min-jae pacing, Taesun already pulling on his jacket. What happened? Lena demanded. Jiro looked at her. A secondary Beck affiliate moved without authorization. Her heart slammed. My family? Safe, Taesun said immediately. This isn't about them. Then what is it about? Us, Min-jae replied. They're testing whether we hesitate now that we have something to lose. Lena felt something cold settle in her chest. And will you? Tae-sun walked toward her. That depends on you. She stared at him. That's not fair. No, he agreed. It's reality. Minutes later, Tae-sun was gone. Lena sat on the floor, arms wrapped around herself. I can't keep being the reason you kill people, she whispered. Min-jae knelt beside her. You're not the reason. You're the reason we stop. She looked up. How? By choosing to stay, he said. By making us accountable. Jiro returned from another call. His face was grim. The situation is contained. Lena stood. I want rules. Both men looked at her. If I stay, she said, voice shaking but firm, there are conditions. Jiro nodded slowly. Name them. No violence in my name, Lena said. No secrets about what affects my family. And no decisions about my body made without me. Silence stretched. Then Tae-sun returned, coat removed, expression unreadable. He listened as Jiro repeated Lena's demands. Tae-sun didn't interrupt. When Jiro finished, Tae-sun looked at Lena. You want to rewrite a system that's existed for decades? Yes, she said. Or I walk. Tae-sun held her gaze for a long moment. Then he nodded. Agreed. Min-jae exhaled sharply, like he'd been holding his breath for years. Jiro smiled, small, genuine. Welcome to the war room. The next 2 days passed slowly, deliberately. No pressure. No demands. Just presence. Shared meals. Conversations that didn't circle danger. Silence that felt companionable instead of tense. Lena found herself laughing once, really laughing, and freezing immediately afterward. Min-jae noticed. You don't have to stop. I forgot what it felt like, she admitted. That night, Lena sat with Tae-sun on the balcony again. Why me? She asked suddenly. He didn't pretend not to know what she meant. Because you look at power and ask what it costs. She swallowed. And if I regret staying? Then I will help you leave, he said. Personally. Her eyes burned. Why are you like this? Because my mother died believing love was weakness, Tae-sun said quietly. I refuse to inherit that lie. The moment lingered, heavy, intimate, unresolved. Lena made her decision the following morning. She stood in front of all 3 of them. I'm not ready for everything this marriage expects, she said. But I'm ready for us to be real. Jiro tilted his head. Define real. No pretending this is just business, she said. No hiding behind tradition. Minji's voice was gentle. And what about the rest? She inhaled. We take it slowly. On my terms. Tae-sun nodded. Always. The choice didn't feel triumphant. It felt terrifying. But it felt hers. That evening, as Lena lay in bed, listening to the quiet hum of a city that would never fully be hers, she realized something important. She wasn't trapped anymore. She was standing on the edge of something vast, and she had chosen not to step back. If you've made it this far, comment and like the video, it tells me you're invested. Subscribe now, because next part is where emotions explode, lines blur, and nothing stays theoretical anymore. The first time Lena realized the house had changed, it was because no one was watching her anymore. Not guarding. Not hovering. Not waiting for her to falter. They trusted her to move freely. That frightened her more than the locks ever had. She wandered into the kitchen barefoot late at night, unable to sleep, restless with thoughts that refused to settle. The city outside was alive, bright, indifferent. Inside, the lights were dim, warm. Jiro was there, sleeves rolled up, staring into a mug like it held answers. You too? Lena asked quietly. He glanced up surprised. I thought you slept. I thought I would, she said. Turns out my mind didn't get the memo. He gestured to the opposite chair. Join me. She did. They sat in silence for a moment, comfortable in a way that felt new. Do you ever wish you were someone else? Lena asked. Jiro considered it. Sometimes. But then I think if I were, I wouldn't have met you. Her throat tightened. That's not fair. He smiled faintly. I know. Footsteps approached. Min-jae appeared, hair tousled, eyes tired. Are we having a secret meeting? He asked. Apparently, Lena said. Min-jae pulled up a chair. Good. I hate missing things. Moments later, Tae-sun joined them. No agenda. No authority. Just presence. The four of them sat there, drinking tea, sharing nothing and everything at once. It felt dangerous. The next morning, Madame Kwan summoned Lena alone. That alone told her everything. The matriarch studied her carefully, eyes sharper than ever. "You are changing my grandsons." Lena held her gaze. "They're changing themselves." Madame Kwan hummed. "You're bolder than I expected." "I had to be," Lena replied. "Fear stopped being useful." "Careful," the old woman said. "Fear is what keeps you alive in this family." Lena shook her head. "Love does too. You just chose differently." The room went very still. Madame Kwan leaned back. "You intend to stay?" "Yes." "Then you must understand something," the matriarch said. "This world will test you until it breaks you or binds you." Lena straightened. "Then I'll decide which." Madame Kwan studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Good." That night, the house felt charged. Not tense. Anticipatory. Lena stood in the bedroom, heart pounding, knowing what the air itself seemed to acknowledge. Nothing had been spoken. No demands made. Yet everything was understood. She didn't feel cornered. She felt ready. When Taesun knocked, it wasn't commanding. It was careful. "May we come in?" he asked. "Yes," Lena said. They entered together, respectful, eyes never leaving her face. "I want to be clear," Lena said, voice steady despite the tremor beneath it. "I can change my mind. At any moment." Jiro nodded. "Always." Min-jae added softly, "We stop when you say stop." Taesun said nothing, he simply watched her, like he was memorizing every breath. Lena exhaled. "Then stay." What followed wasn't rushed. It wasn't taken. It was given step by step, breath by breath, trust unfolding in quiet moments rather than spectacle. Later, wrapped in silence, Lena stared at the ceiling, emotions crashing into her all at once. She wasn't numb. She wasn't afraid. She was overwhelmed in a way that felt real. Min-jae shifted beside her. "Are you okay?" She laughed softly. "I don't know what I am." Jiro reached for her hand. "That's allowed." Taesun's voice was low. "Nothing changes without your say." She turned to him. "Everything just changed." "Yes," he agreed. "And it still belongs to you." Sleep finally claimed her. Morning came gently. Lena woke sore, tired, and strangely calm. Breakfast was quieter than usual. No one pushed. No one assumed. She realized then, this wasn't about possession. It never had been. The illusion shattered hours later. The phone rang. Taesun answered it. His expression changed instantly. Lena felt it before he spoke. "They've resurfaced," he said. "I remaining Beck Lieutenant." Her heart dropped. "I thought it was over." "It never truly is," Jiro said. "They know about last night," Min-jae added quietly. Lena froze. "How?" "Because nothing here stays private for long," Taesun said. "They're testing whether we hesitate now that you're fully bound." Her stomach twisted. "I won't be the excuse again." Taesun looked at her sharply. "You are not an excuse. You are the line." The operation was swift. Controlled. Surgical. Lena wasn't present, but she felt every minute of it. When Taesun returned, there was blood on his cuff. She stared at it. He noticed immediately and removed the jacket, tossing it aside. "I didn't want you to see that." "But I did," she said. "Yes," he agreed. "And you still chose to stay." Tears filled her eyes. "I don't know what that makes me." He stepped closer. "It makes you honest." That night, Lena stood alone on the balcony again. The city hadn't changed. She had. Jiro joined her. "You don't have to carry this alone." "I know," she said. "That's what scares me." Min-jae leaned against the doorframe. "You don't scare easily." She smiled faintly. "I do. I just don't run anymore." Taesun came last, standing beside her. "You stayed," he said quietly. "Yes," Lena replied. "Not because I was trapped. Because you chose us." She nodded. "And because you chose me back." Below them, the city roared. Ahead of them, a future neither simple nor safe waited. But for the first time, Lena didn't feel like she was surviving someone else's decisions. She was making her own. If you're still here, like the video and leave a comment. this story is about to reach its emotional peak. Subscribe now, because next part brings the resolution, the consequences, and the ending you've been waiting for. 6 months changed everything. Not all at once. Not dramatically. It happened in small, quiet ways Lena didn't notice until one morning she woke up and realized she wasn't counting days anymore. She stood in the bathroom, staring at the thin strip in her hand, heart beating so loudly it drowned out the city below. Her fingers trembled. Once. Twice. Then she sat down hard on the edge of the tub. "No," she whispered. Then, softer, "Oh no." The door creaked open behind her. Min-jae stopped the moment he saw her face. "Lena." She looked up slowly. Her eyes were glassy, unfocused. "I think something's wrong," she said. His chest tightened. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "No. Her voice cracked. She held up the test. Min-jae stared at it. His breath left him in a rush he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Is that?" "Yes." Silence slammed into the room. Jiro appeared behind Min-jae, took one look at Lena's face, and understood instantly. "I'll get Tae-sun." "No," Lena said quickly. "Please. Not like that." Jiro paused. "Like what?" "Like this is a crisis," she said. "I need it to be a conversation." Minutes later, the four of them sat together in the living room. No guards. No phones. No weapons in sight. Just truth. "I don't know how to feel," Lena said finally. "I'm not scared. And that scares me." Tae-sun watched her closely. "Do you want this?" She didn't answer immediately. She placed a hand over her stomach instead. "I don't know yet," she admitted. "But I know I don't feel trapped." Min-jae swallowed hard. "Neither do we." Jiro spoke carefully. "The contract is irrelevant," Tae-sun cut in. "It has been for months." Lena met his eyes. "Say it." He didn't hesitate. "You're free. You always have been." Her throat tightened. "And if I choose to leave?" Tae-sun's jaw clenched, but he nodded. "Then we protect you anyway." Silence followed. Then Lena laughed. Soft. Shaky. Real. "You know what's terrifying?" she said. Min-jae leaned forward. "Tell us." "I don't want to leave," Lena said. "Not because I owe you. Not because of this." She gestured to her stomach. "But because this is the first place I stopped bracing for impact." Something in the room shifted permanently. Jiro let out a slow breath. Min-jae closed his eyes briefly, overwhelmed. Tae-sun stood, crossed the room, and knelt in front of her. "This doesn't bind you," he said. "It doesn't own you." Lena placed her hand over his. "I know. That's why I'm choosing it." The announcement to Madame Kwan did not go quietly. "You are reckless," the matriarch snapped. "This was not part of the arrangement." "It is part of our future," Tae-sun replied evenly. Madame Kwan's eyes flicked to Lena's stomach. Then back to her face. "And what do you want?" the old woman demanded. Lena straightened. "Respect. Autonomy. And no more tests disguised as cruelty." The matriarch studied her for a long time. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. Low. Genuine. "You survived us," she said. "That means you belong." She turned away, dismissing them all. "Do not make me regret this." Life didn't soften after that. But it steadied. Lena's parents were moved closer, safer. Still unaware of the truth, still believing fortune had simply turned in their favor. Lena visited them under watchful eyes, her heart splitting in two every time she left. The syndicate world didn't disappear, but it bent. Lines were redrawn. Decisions slowed. Bloodshed decreased, not because the world became kinder, but because someone finally demanded accountability. And the men listened. Late one evening, Lena stood on the balcony again, hand resting protectively on her stomach. The city lights reflected in the glass, endless and alive. Tae-sun joined her. "You're thinking too hard." She smiled faintly. "I'm thinking about who I was." "And who you are now?" She turned to him. "Someone who chose to stay." He nodded. "That choice reshaped everything." Min-jae appeared, carrying tea. "Doctor says you need to stop skipping meals." She rolled her eyes. "Traitor." Jiro leaned in the doorway. "You're smiling." "I do that now," Lena said softly. They stood together in quiet understanding. This wasn't a fairy tale. It was something harder. Something earned. Weeks later, Lena lay awake in bed, listening to the steady breathing around her, feeling a strange peace settle in her chest. She thought of the girl who had slammed a door on her wedding night, terrified and shaking. That girl would never have believed this ending. Lena closed her eyes. She hadn't been rescued. She had rewritten the terms. And that more than power, more than protection, more than love, was what made this life hers. If this story kept you glued until the end, don't forget to like the video, it really helps. Comment below and tell me what part hit you the hardest. And most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss the next story, because the next one might pull you in even deeper. Thank you for staying till the end.